Okay, so hi everyone. Till now we have deployed the entire web application, Streamlit project, Gradio app, and then we deployed we push entire code to the GitHub repository. Now we will use AWS Cloud Service to deploy the web application on Amazon EC2 instance. But before that, we need to set up the account, AWS account, and we will see that, and we will also see Amazon SageMaker. Okay, so first I will explain how you can register and create your AWS account. It's a little tricky process, so make sure that you follow all the steps properly. And then once you have a AWS account ready, then we can go to the SageMaker part. Okay, so the account setup I will show you in PPT because I have already created my account. So I will show you how you can create your account on AWS. You can follow those steps. The user interface will be little bit changed because the PPT is little bit old, so you can get the similar user interface. Okay, so first we will do the AWS registration. So now we will start with the AWS registration process. Once that is done, then we will move on to the AWS SageMaker part. AWS registration process is little bit tricky, so make sure that you do all the steps using incognito mode in Google Chrome. Okay, so first thing is we need to create an AWS account. So we will do AWS registration. Then we will build the model on SageMaker. So I will show you what is SageMaker, how to use it. But we don't need to build the model on SageMaker because it is similar to Notebook only. So we have already done this part. So second part is already completed. Then pickle the model and script. That part is also completed. Once that is done, you can delete all the files because if you kept there, it will be chargeable. So first in this part, we will just need to do AWS registration part. Okay. First thing you need to do is go to Google, open Google Chrome and open incognito mode. In incognito mode, search AWS, Amazon Web Service. So this is the link. You just need to type AWS, click on the first link. Interface will be little bit changed. After that, you don't have to select the AWS free tier. You just click on create AWS account. Free tier option, you will get it at the last part. And anyway, if you want to create an AWS account, you need to have a valid debit card or credit card. If you have credit card, it will be a good, but make sure that if you use debit card and credit card, the international transaction setting should be on. For that, you can, let's say you have ICICI Bank debit or credit card. Open your ICICI Bank application and go to card setting. And in card setting, you can turn on the international transaction feature. And then you can use that card for account registration. So the card is mandatory. Otherwise, you won't able to create your account. So make sure that if you are creating AWS account, you should have your debit card or credit card handy. Okay. So once you visit this particular page, click on create AWS account. Then you need to enter email ID. Then you will get one verification code and you can add that verification code in this particular page with your password. So once you set up your email ID and password and verification code, you will go to this particular page, contact information. Here you need to type your full name, phone number, current address, city, PIN, postal code, all the required details. And here you can see once you create an AWS account, from that period to 1 year, you have free tier account. So you won't be charged, but you need to be in limits. So you need to use those services which are available in free tier account. And there is a certain limit to use that particular services. So make sure that you verify everything and utilize your free account properly. Otherwise, you will get charged. So enter all the details. Then once you enter the details, you can click on continue step 2. And here you need to enter your debit or credit card details. Mostly credit card will work. Debit card will also work, but in few cases I have seen debit card doesn't work. It depends on which type of card you have. So if your one card is not working, you can try changing in the other card. And make sure that you do this entire step in incognito mode. So here you can just mention the debit card number, expiry date, year, then candidate's cardholder name, CVV. not necessary that the card should be on your name. You can use other like your family member's card also, and it won't charge. It will just charge you 2 rupees for the registration process, that is just for verification. After that it will be credited back to your same account. So ideally you won't get charged. So once you enter the debit card and credit card details, you need to enter the OTP. 2 rupees will be charged. And once you click on submit, you need to set text messages and enter the captcha again for verification to confirm the identity. And once that is done, you will get one verify code. Enter that on your email. And then here you need to support a basic plan. So this is a free tier plan for 1 year almost. If you support a developer, like if you select developer support, you will be charged 29 per month dollar. Now the amount will be again different as per the timing, but you need to select basic support free, so you won't get charged. Select this and click on complete sign up. Once that is done, you will get this message, congratulations, you have created AWS account, and then you can go to AWS management console. So you will get email like this for pricing, and then you can go to sign into the console, then select root user, enter your email address, click on next button, enter the captcha, password, and then here you will be on the AWS console page. Now from here I will show you what are the services that we are going to use and how to start those services. So let me open the AWS page first. AWS. Okay. So this is the home page, Amazon Web Service. I have already created the account. So let's click on sign in option. Now here it is asking for account ID, I am user. So sign in using root user email address. So I have my root user email address. So this is my email ID. I'm a root user. Click on next button, type password, and authentication code. I have created two-factor authentication code. So let me type this. So once you enter your email address, root user password, and authentication code, you will be landed on the AWS console page. So this is the console page. And if you go to this part here, you will see all the AWS services, EC2, SageMaker, IAM, S3 bucket and all that we have already discussed. Now, let's say if you don't have Jupyter Notebook on your local machine, what you can do? You can use AWS SageMaker. So now we'll go to AWS SageMaker. So this AWS SageMaker is used for building, training and deploying machine learning model. Okay. So in AWS SageMaker, we will select, okay, let me first select the service. Is AWS SageMaker. And from here, you can go to notebooks. So here you can see application and IDs. Select notebook. Now there is no notebook instance running currently on AWS services. So we will create one notebook instance. So I will show you how you can do that. So click on create notebook instance. Type notebook instance name. You can type anything here. As of now, I will type deployment. Select notebook instance type. So instance type is basically a CPU. So there are multiple instance type options we have, like ML, T2 medium, T2 large, X large, 2X large. Based on your requirement, you can select the instance type. If you want powerful, you can go to below option. You can see there are multiple memory optimized, GPU optimized instance. But for this particular application, we don't require a powerful instance. We will simply go to ML T2 medium. Okay. And then platform identifier. So basically what kind of OS you want on your notebook instance. So we will use default Linux 2 only. Then permission and encryption. So in IAM role, we are going to create this execution role, and root access is enable, encryption key is not needed now. In network options, we don't have to select anything. In Git repository, you can add your additional repository. So let's say if I want to add additional repository, I can mention that clone a public Git repository to this notebook instance only. So I can go to my repository, this project. Let's copy this repository name. And here I will type Git repository URL. So this is my repository that I want on my instance. Okay, and then tags. Tags as of now we don't require. So just if you want to create a notebook instance, just type deployment name, choose instance, select platform identifier. Rest of the thing will be default only. Repositories, it's an optional part. We have already pushed the entire code to the GitHub repository. That's why we are going to use this particular part. Now click on create notebook instance. So once you click on this, it will take some time to boot up the entire instance, and if it is ready, then here you can check the status. So in between, what you can do, you can just check the status by refreshing the part, this code. So we have created this deployment instance and the instance type is MLT2 medium. We have created on 1:33:48 timing. Status is still pending, means it will take some time, like 2-3 minutes to get the entire boot up system ready. So till then we'll wait. Okay, now you can see the status is in service. You need to check. If it is not showing, you can just refresh this window and you can see the status is in service. So it will take couple of minutes to start the server. Now here in action you can see you have open Jupyter or open Jupyter lab. So you can click on any of this. So let's open Jupyter lab. Now the moment I click on this open Jupyter lab, it will open up the Jupyter notebook, the same we have in our local machine. But if you see the address, so this is the local Jupyter notebook that we used to train the model, and here you can see this Jupyter notebook is running on localhost. But if you see this Jupyter notebook, it is not running on my laptop. This will be running on the AWS server. Okay, so now it will load the Jupyter notebook. So here there are multiple options, like to create a notebook you can use Conda PyTorch, Conda Python 3 or Conda TensorFlow. So let's create Conda Python 3. This untitled notebook has been created, and if you want to install any particular library like TensorFlow, so you can just type pip install TensorFlow and just type shift enter. So it will install TensorFlow on this particular environment. Now the thing is, this particular Jupyter notebook is running on AWS instance. So and here you can see all the files are installing. Now this TensorFlow installation is happening on the instance level, not on my computer level. So it will take internet on the instance only, not my local internet. And here you can see there is one more folder, sleep disorder prediction. So if you open that particular folder, you will get same file that we pushed on the GitHub. So like this way you can share your entire code on your instance, and you can run your code using this GitHub repository also. Like while creating a notebook instance, you can mention your GitHub repository name and this code will be present. And if you open this Jupyter notebook from this section, you can start your Gradeo server and Flask API in this code. So you can see all the Jupyter notebook is present. So technically what we should do is, you can open a SageMaker. If you don't have Jupyter notebook installed on your machine, you can open SageMaker. Over there you can create your Jupyter notebook, train the entire model and all. If you want GPU, you can change the instance type. So everything you can do using SageMaker. But as of now, SageMaker is chargeable, so we decided to use local machine only. And then we shifted the entire code to the SageMaker part. This is just to show how SageMaker works. Now let's say you created everything. Now you are done with the deployment part. So let's say while training the model, it will take some time, let's say 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever it is. Or maybe let's say if I close my Jupyter, this tab, the model will be trained in the instance only. So it will not stop. And if I deploy this model on cloud, it will work continuously. So there is no dependency with my machine for this particular code. So it will run independently and all the file will be saved on the cloud. If something happens with my machine, no issue. Everything is present on the cloud for this particular project only. So that is the benefit of running on the cloud, training on the cloud, deploying on the cloud. Okay. Now, once you are done with the SageMaker part, you build your model, you pickled all the model objects and all, then you can download your entire code if you have built using SageMaker. But if it is already present on the local machine, then no need to download anything. Now we are done with all the things. So what we will do, if you want to safely use SageMaker, once you are done with everything, delete all the files. Because again, if you keep your files on the SageMaker service, it will consume some memory and that memory is chargeable. So let's delete everything. So we have deleted everything from our instance. Let's go to SageMaker part, click on refresh button. Now let's say once you are done with your work, then you can select this, click on action and then click on stop. So stop means your instance is stop, it is not working and you won't get charged. But all the files and code will be available on that instance. So next day, if you want to work on the same code, you can select your instance, go to actions, click on again start. So this way you can start your SageMaker like notebook instance, and once you are done, you can stop the instance. But if you don't require this instance again, then again you can go to actions and then you can click on delete. But again, to stop the instance, it will take some time, around 2 to 3 minutes. So we'll wait till then. Now you can see the status of this instance, it is stop, means you won't get charged for this particular instance. If you don't see status, you can just refresh this command. But the instance is still present on our SageMaker. If you want to use it safely, select this instance, go to action and delete it. Delete means the instance will be deleted and all the files present on that instance will be gone. So again, if you check refresh button, it will take couple of minutes to delete the entire instance. So in this case, what we have done in this entire module, we created AWS account using debit and credit card, and to create that you need to use incognito mode. Once you create your AWS account, you need to start using SageMaker if you want to work with Jupyter Notebook. So you can go to console, AWS console, and from there you can type Amazon SageMaker. Once you go to Amazon SageMaker, you can go to notebook and create a new notebook instance. And if you have any Jupyter Notebook or code files ready, you can upload over there, or else you can upload using Jupyter Lab as well. So here there is a button for upload. So like this Jupyter Lab is similar to what you use in your local machine. Once that is done, your model is trained on the Jupyter Notebook and all, then you can download your code and you can terminate this instance. Means you can delete instance if you don't require it later on. Now here you can see there are currently no resources. Means we created one instance, we trained the model, we pickled everything. Once that is done, we deleted the instance. So if you use in this way, you won't get charged. So this is the safest way to use this Amazon SageMaker. Now, once you are done with the SageMaker, we need to deploy the code on the EC2 instance. So in next part, we will see how to create EC2 instance and deploy your model, machine learning model on that particular instance so that it will be deployed globally.